Hey, subscribe to the channel. This is Kimi. Welcome back. I need some motivation. I need some motivation. I'm gonna give you that. Subscribe to the channel. This is Kimi. So you already know, God is everything. God is everything. So with that being said, check this video out.
The ones who actually had the courage and put themselves out there for God, because a lot of people wouldn't do it. It's nerve-wracking having a podcast, YouTube channel. Do you see what I'm saying? Really putting yourself out there. You know what I mean? And it's the same ones, the ones that are critiquing people that have the strength and the courage to do it are the ones that wouldn't even have the strength and courage to do it tomorrow if God told them to do it. God may have told them to do it and they chose not to. You see what I mean? So really pay attention to that, guys. Yeah, God was saying, mind the business that I gave you instead of minding the business I gave to someone else. Okay. Another thing he was saying is 1 Corinthians 2 verse 16. Who has known the mind of the Lord so as to instruct him? See, the thing about it is people don't know the mind of God. They don't. To instruct him. They don't. So whenever I see people trying to backlash and trying to throw shade at me or even to other people, you don't know what God is doing in this person's life. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't know the plans God has for that specific person. And let me tell you something. This is why I noticed that with his real sheep, because we are so afraid to get in trouble, we don't sit around poking at other people because we already have a big mission of our own that we're supposed to be focused on. We already have bigger problems that we have to be focused on. We don't have time to be tearing down anybody else or putting down somebody else or writing comments to someone else or stalking their Instagram and all of that. We have no problems. We have bigger problems to do that. See what I'm saying? We have bigger problems to do that. Another thing is when God tells us to stop watching someone, we have to stop watching them. When God told me to stop checking to see what someone else was saying about me or to stop watching specific people, I had to do it because when I didn't listen, God will come in and check me. He would come and correct me. So stuff what I tell you to do. And he would always come with this with his finger like that. And I always know when I'm being corrected. God's sheep gets corrected. Okay, it could be having a negative thought towards one person that we don't even know, a stranger. Oh, I would never wear those shoes, and then you're having a vision of those shoes, and you're like, oh, I would never wear those shoes, and God comes like, that's not nice. God corrects us 24/7. Okay, so we don't have time to be doing stuff like. I'm telling you, the real chosen ones don't have time to be doing stuff like that because we are just too busy. God really has us focused on his mission. He won't have us doing petty stuff like that. You see what I mean? So you guys have to really pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Because another thing is they don't know the mind of God. They don't know what God is doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I had people come on my channel and they go all the way back to a video that's probably 2 years old or a year old, and in the video, around that video is when I just started coming out of New Age. So it takes time to learn the Bible. It takes time to learn about scripture and stuff. But one thing about me is I've always had a relationship with God, and he was directing my footsteps up until now. So even before I saw these little hate comments, God was showing me a vision the day before and letting me see where I came from and where I am today. And he was showing me that vision right before I saw these comments. And I was like, wow, it's funny. I'm like, God, you always do this. I'm like, it's funny how you always come through and you always uplift me right before I read something negative. Or do you get what I'm saying? Because he does that to encourage me. But it just shows how far I came. Okay, in my relationship with God, it shows how far I've came and how much I've learned. Do you see what I'm saying? And people don't see that. See, they will rather focus on looking for something to critique you for rather than paying attention to the actual progression.